Hello, how's everyone doing? Every Tuesday, I'm here for the Q&A, questions and Ayurvedic answers. Today, I really wanted to break into a conversation about, hey Frederick, about what we are doing as humans, as adults. Hey, what's up? What are we doing as adults versus who were we as kids? I love kids and I work with kids currently. I work with teenagers and I also work with younger kids, 6, 7, 8, and they come into the room with such curiosity. So much is about the sensory. What can I touch? What kind of Play-Doh can I smash into, the desk? Where can I go? What can I see? Really with young kids, it's all about the outside, that sensory, that connection to people, connection to mother, father, parent, guardian, connection to friends. And then we age, we get older, and we still have that connection to the outside world. But there's no one that says, this is the time to turn inward. There's no book that, talks about what we do as adults when we turn inward, when we start to pay attention to our mind, to our body. Nothing that gives us a blueprint of that, right? We're supposed to be adults. All of a sudden, we're in this world, and we are still those children. We are still that little kid that wants, that looks, that needs, that grabs, that touches. It's a lot about the outside. And I am all about, and especially the last few years, really turning inward. What can I feel on the inside? What subtle energy, what subtle messages is my body trying to tell me? How can I interact more with my body? This is like what makes my mind go nutso. How can I think about this? How can I learn more? Who can I talk to that's also on this path? So if you're just joining, please feel free to ask any questions. Right now, I'm really talking about turning inward, turning into our own thoughts, turning into who we are, and versus maybe who we were as kids. We're, really outward, and as we grow older, when do we start to look inward? What can we do to start to look inward? Yay, hey Mariah. You just made it. We're just talking about turning inward. And what kind of steps can we take to turn inward? Who are we when we turn inward? And who can we not be when we turn inward? The ego. What is our ego? Who am the I? I am not saying I have the answers. I am simply opening up a conversation. I think it's really interesting for me when I meditate, and I meditate almost every morning. I didn't meditate today because I had a really early work meeting and I'm really kapha and I love sleeping. One step I take is to ask myself the right questions. Yeah. So when I meditate, when I turn inward, I really try to release the I, release the me, and become the we, become what is around me. And it's kind of interesting, right? I was just saying going inward, releasing what is around me, but I'm not talking about the physical books and artwork and things that are around me when I take time to meditate. I'm really looking at the energies, the past energies, the future energies. Who am I, or who can I not be, and who can I dissolve into to connect to this really invisible world of energy? I work on it all the time. And I'm sure you guys do it in your own right. So what are the things that you guys do to step inward? Please feel free to type it in. Do you read? Do you go on walks? Do you cook? Are you writing? What is it that you do to turn inward and to release this kind of hold on sensory objects that we feel so connected to? You know, it's so interesting when I hang out with these kids and actually kind of talk to them. This 4-year-old boy I was talking to yesterday, and I was asking about his dreams and, you know, where he is when he dreams. And I kind of just planted this little seed, like, you know, you can wake up in your dreams and you can fly in your dreams. And he was like, what? Flying in your dreams? And it was just so amazing to see this new idea that this young boy has never ever thought of. So what have you, you know, really never thought of, never had the time to think of? And where can you find those answers? And I really, really believe that those answers come from, yes, talking and reading and being in a community where people are doing that, but those answers can come from within you. Those answers can come from moments of silence, moments of turning inward and being with yourself. Mariah, also, I started a book today called The Underthread Soul, and they talked a lot about your inner voice and observing it, detaching from it, and using that to create peace in your life. Yeah, it's so funny. Mariah and Mariah and I were actually going to start working together, and we have so many ideas and things in the works. So thank you so much, Mariah, for typing that in, because I feel like we've been on the same kind of brainwave and finding the same things, and things are actually finding us sometimes, right? But, you know, detaching from the inner voice, detaching from the I, the me. Who are you when you don't have these things to hold on to? I think about this all the time. Who am I? If I am not a girlfriend, if I am not a daughter, if I am not a stylist and a caretaker and a health practitioner, you know, who am I? Who do I want to be? You know, these questions are so big, and I find that every time I turn inward, those questions almost don't matter. Those questions, they just are. I just am. And I think when we turn inward, when we allow ourselves to release this outer shell and come into the eye of just everything, of you, you will find those answers. You will see those answers, and they will find you. I do talk a lot about meditation, and the type of meditation that I do is a transcendental meditation. I use a mantra, and this mantra allows me to recenter. And I think about everything, you know, I'm closing my eyes, I'm thinking, I'm here, and my mind goes back to the me. It goes back to the I am. It goes back to the things that I need to do and the people that I need to talk to. And then I use that mantra, that little sound, to kind of pull me back in and release me into the we. There are so many different kinds of meditation. Again, if you are journaling, if you are reading or walking, but there's something so special that happens when you take time to sit and turn inward. If anyone ever has questions about meditating, I would love to have that conversation. I'm not saying I can answer all the questions, but I think meditation is looked at as such a complicated and can be hard and challenging adventure that we don't understand really what is happening. I hear a lot like, I couldn't even sit still for 5 minutes. Let me tell you, you are not sitting still. Yes, your physical body is still, but you are doing so much when you meditate. You're de-stressing, you're working on your blood pressure, you're working on the mental ama or buildup of toxins. You're working on so much when you meditate. So Mariah, my favorite and kind of meditation, and really what I feel like I have grown into, is a type of transcendental meditation, which is called heart-based meditation. And again, we use that mantra to, when the mind is going, to pull back in. And some people can use breath. Some people have different ways of pulling back into the moment. But I think the most important part is not getting angry with yourself, not letting those feelings of frustration shadow what you're doing in the moment. So if you're just joining us, I'm here every Tuesday for you to ask questions about your health, about what you're thinking about mentally, physically. I study Ayurveda, which is technically an Indian medicine, but truly it's a universal medicine. It's about the elements. It's about understanding how we connect to everything around us. Earth, wind, fire, water, and then space is in our Vedas, they also include space. These 5 elements are in everything. They are us as well. If you've ever heard the word dosha, you know, dosha is your physical being, and you are also an element. You know, we are all built out of these elements. And then how do your elements interact with other elements? I'm kind of straying now from the meditation conversation and just getting into more of the idea of what is Ayurveda. When you come here to ask your questions, what are you asking? What can you ask? And really, Ayurveda is that science of everything. So if you have questions about your skin, or if you have questions about acne, or if you have questions about your elimination, your digestion, why you feel like you sleep all the time, why do you feel lethargic after eating, you feel free to ask questions. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here every Tuesday at noon, because I think it's so important that you have a platform that you know you can ask questions, that you'll get time, you'll get answers, and that's why I'm here, and that's what I want to be providing. So I'm going to be signing off in just a moment, but before I do, I am so excited to roll out my 5-day challenge. I am so stoked. This is going to be your basic, like dive into what Ayurveda is and how some of the Ayurvedic rituals how they can serve you and what they can do for you. And let me just tell you, these aren't like ethereal ideas. These are sleep time rituals. These are water time rituals. These are rituals that are going to put in place specific times that are going to allow you to build routine. And that is coming out this week. So keep an eye on for that. Oh, great question. So skin, what do you find the biggest causes of skin issues are? So this really depends. And when you're looking at your skin, know that everyone is different. So the conversation about skin can be broken down into who are you individually and what imbalance are you working with. If you had a more specific question like acne, skin issues, acne, right there, what type of acne are you having? So really a little bit more information would be needed to answer that specific question. But usually it will be broken down into excess heat in the body. So again, depending on what is going on with the skin, if you have more of a rash, that is going to be an indication that there's heat, excess heat in the body. If you've ever also worked with Chinese medicine, these ideas and the vocabulary are pretty similar. So then what can you do to release heat from your body? Again, depending on what you're working with, how you're utilizing the foods that you're eating, what are you drinking? A lot of excess heat can come from garlic, can come from onions, can come from chilies. Now, if you're already a pretty hot person and you start eating a lot of the garlic, a lot of ground gingers, powdered gingers, really heating in the body. So not exactly spicy and pungent, but the after effect of what happens as you digest. You might see some skin reaction there. acne, depending on where it is on your body and what type of acne it is. Again, mostly coming from a heat aggravation. You know, if your acne comes to the top of the skin and you are able to deal with it in a very, you know, clean manner, then you're working again with more of the heat. But if you have those kind of underground, deep acnes, that's a different type of acne. So great question, and I would ask you to kind of get even a little more detailed on what type of skin issues that you're dealing with. Now, if you're sitting here wanting to ask a question, if you see this video later and you want to ask a question, but you don't want to make it public, send me a private message. I can definitely answer those questions. We can have a phone call. We can really get to the bottom of what is happening. And that, again, is really what Ayurveda is about. Yes, it's about wisdom. Yes, it's about tools. But it's about more of the idea. It's about getting to the root of the problem, understanding the root of the problem, and then working that. Versus, oh, I have a symptom. I have a headache, and I'm just going to take medication for a headache. That's fine. I'm not saying don't do that. But let's get a little curious. Why do you have those headaches? You know, let's get a little curious about the skin. You know, why do you have this eczema breakout or hive breakout? Or why are you having acne, you know, on the cheeks or the forehead? Everything in the body is connected. These are ancient healing modalities that have a map out of the body. Have you ever gotten acupuncture? You know, they have the body mapped out. And so does Ayurveda. Ayurveda does, as far as I know, does not use acupuncture the way that Chinese medicine does. I totally could be wrong. There are pressure points and points. I'm not saying that Ayurveda does not work with specific points of the body. But, you know, there is a map of the body, and understanding the body, getting curious about the body is going to help you live in your body. It's going to help you understand your body. And I know not everyone is as curious as I am and wants to know the whys and wants to know more. But I urge you to ask yourself, why might you not be as interested? Are you scared of an answer? Are you worried that if you find out more, you're going to have to do more? Does it challenge you to think that you might have to kind of revamp your patterns and come up with something new and step into a new you? Does that scare you a little bit? And if it does, that's fine. Let's work on that together. You never have to be alone. You never have to walk into a room alone. And I'm not asking you to do that. And that's, you know, why I'm here. And if you have other friends who can help you, you know, reach out to them. Reach out to me. I think it's so important to have a tribe, to have a community, to have people in your corner that are understanding what you're dealing with, and to not do it alone. I think that's really the key, is to not do it alone. So, just to do a little recap, we talked about, you know, thanks love, thanks for the love. We talked about being a young child and that sensory, that, you know, you want to touch, you want to be out there. Everything is so new. And then at what point do we turn inward? At what point do we start to focus on yourself, your self-love, the rituals that you use to learn more about you? At what point does that happen? You know, there's no book about how to be an adult, about how to live your life. I mean, there are tons of books, don't get me wrong. But I think it's now. You know, if you're watching this, if you see this later, the time is now to turn inward, to learn about yourself, to learn more about yourself. And I'm here to help you. So, thank you so much for being here. And I love you, Mariah. Thank you for your love and your support and your questions. and I will see you guys soon. Don't forget to look out for my challenge that's coming up. So excited, and join me. Okay, bye.